Okay, I thought I'd come on here today to voice my opinion on a video I saw recently. And I don't normally spend much time on stuff like that because, quite frankly, it goes against my grain. But it has to do with Michelle and John's daughter. There was a video put up, and it is a, I don't know what you'd call it. I suppose maybe he's calling it satire or puppet show. I don't know what he wants to call it. But it's plain to see what the purpose is, and it depicts their little daughter talking that's not exactly what you call real plain. She talks much better than what's being portrayed in there. And I don't know if that's just for drama or whatever. It don't make sense. And I guess the biggest thing is, you're talking about a guy that has children. And he's bringing somebody else's child up like that. And to me, it's a mockery of the entire family, the way he did it and does it. And I guess it shows kind of what some of the people are doing out there. They don't care. And it is something that will be held against that child when she's in high school. People will bring that up and say, is that really you that they're talking about there? And I don't know how she's going to answer. I do know that young children, when they get to a certain age, especially the beginning of puberty, they kind of self-analyze themselves and their friends and take stock in it because they're getting their feet wet out there in society itself, you could say. And they get into the upper grades of high school, and it is a lot more social. The people gather in groups rather than into like when you have a room where your whole class is in one room and they teach all the classes, like kindergarten through sixth grade. And then you get into junior high, you get your feet wet in how people may address themselves in different cliques. And obviously you don't want to be in the wrong clique. Everybody wants to be in the top clique. Everybody that has went through school, they understand how people have the tendency to separate. Could be over status in the town, status at school, sports that they're in, common stuff. It might also be that if a person happened to be a loner, they would really be pushed off into a corner by themselves as strange or odd or whatever. And videos like this one can certainly do that to a person as they get older. These things exist forever. And it wouldn't matter how many times you turn something like that in. It seems like YouTube probably is going to allow it. Everybody there knows the intent. You're talking about a small town under 100. I would say that everybody in town knows who this guy is talking about. Now, he's pretty safe. These people he's talking about, they're on the East Coast in Florida, and he's out on the West Coast in California. So he feels secure and safe that nothing's going to happen to him. And YouTube hasn't really moved against people that are doing stuff like this. Now, most of the people that are trying to stand up for this family have been accused of everything, of doxing children, of doxing people out there. And yet, the mode of operation seems to be more in operation of the people that follow the Hales channel. To say I'm disgusted with a lot of people that do it the way this guy is, that'd be putting it mildly. I'm not sure what all is wrong with him, but I believe, in my opinion, there has to be some issues that make him do that. He has not seen them. not talk to him. He only knows what he's seen on YouTube that's been put out, which is very prejudicial for one way of looking at it. Now, if this family was guilty of even 1/10 of what was going on, or what they say was going on, that child wouldn't be there. So there is a problem, and that child is a happy-go-lucky girl. And the yard has long since been cleaned up from the dump it was when it was purchased to today. I'm not saying you can't find areas that are in disarray, because it's over an acre of ground, and you have the tendency to take things and put them in piles until you can take them to the dump or whatever disposal is available for that particular product. Now, a lot of people say that they're still using a bucket to go in. I'm going to tell you something. They have a septic system there, active septic. It's been shown by more than one channel. They have an active bathroom, kitchen. They have living quarters, and they are in right now trying to finish out a home that was started some time ago. Some have called it a metal shed because it has a metal exterior on it, which is that type of building is common all across the nation, and is pre-engineered metal building on the outside. Pre-engineered. You know what that means? It has a document saying it meets the standard for in which it was sold and built. I'm not too sure why the persistence of things like this are going on. The only thing I can assume is that there's so many people following these people in doing this that they feel that it's okay then. That they have followers that say, hey, they pat them on the back, and that must be what they're looking for. These channels that are doing that are also monetized. They make a certain amount of money on this. Now, Vet Nation, I thought maybe he would be a better person than that. I really did. And I've been careful about speaking out on this guy. You know, he's a veteran. My understanding is he was a captain at one time. He has issues with the military, apparently, that he has taken up, and yet I think he works on a military base as a civilian. I just don't understand the analogy of his whole lifestyle, I guess. I've worked with a lot of people over the years that were working on base that were prior military. Never met anybody like him, quite like him. The ones I had worked with had served 20 plus years, and they were operating under the G status, so that, you know, for rankings. Boy, I don't know what else to add to this today. You know, I haven't got a lot that I've been saying on here lately because I've been going over my case. I was served last Friday, and so I'm trying to be busy so that I can answer this. It takes a lot of time, especially for somebody that's not a lawyer. And until I get a lawyer that I think can handle a case like this. Remember that so far, as far as I know, the lawyers that have handled anything for Michelle have been attacked in the different videos out there as to backgrounds, families, all kinds of stuff. Bruce has took a beating out there, and you all know the story of how they went after his wife and his child. And you all know the players out there that are doing this dirty work, and I call it dirty work because that's what I see it. It's dirty work. The righteous person wouldn't do the things that have been done or the things that have been said. Even though I haven't been on the YouTube for a few days, on a daily basis I still get versions of what would be considered hate comments. And sometimes a hate comment can be nothing more than a question. And people do things that don't make sense when they come on your channel and do these things. It's really childish, in my opinion. Well, I haven't got much more today. I mean, that's pretty much it. Two Lee's has been putting her shows on Rumble. Now, you don't have to belong to Rumble to look at it. You do have to belong to it to participate. So if you want to see what's going on the show tonight, type in Rumble or actually go to Lisa's YouTube channel, and up there in the description, you'll see how to hit Rumble. You hit that, and you'll be able to watch her show. You just can't make a comment while she's on there. That's all. I'm going to watch it tonight. I know that there's been several filings, and I've noticed that there is some things going on. Some of the stuff that has been transmitted out there to all the litigants out here. So there again, I'm telling you, you can, if you want to watch her tonight, I'm going to. I don't belong to Rumble. I've thought about joining. I don't know if I will or not. I've got my hands full just utilizing YouTube. But if I end up having to use Rumble for some reason, then that's what I'll do. I'm not going to go without voice. And the attacks, I'm not certain how these attacks are going to come out. I know that the attacks themselves are going to go through the legal system. So, you know, whether anybody out there realizes it or not, but this BS type tactics are going to end up in court. And it could very well be that some of this will end up as case law in the future about our freedoms of speech. And every time we get into these little things like what's going on right now, where we use bad language or we use innuendos against each other, things like that, or we tell lies, quite frankly, or threaten. It ends up that laws end up being made that constrict us to the point where one day we won't have any freedom of speech. It could happen. So for everything you do, remember, every action there is a reaction of some kind. As it is, this gets serious enough so that it is more of a going into legal court. And YouTube obviously is going to be named as a platform of where these people are performing. Eventually it's going to catch up. That's what I'm saying. Well, with that, I'm going to let you go. Sorry I don't have more. My hands are full right now. But I will bring more stuff back, and we'll see what we can do. And no, I don't have time to sing either. So, but I do want you to have a good day. And you know how that goes, right? Ta-ta.